All right, everyone. It's the Ironworks walk around of all the different projects going on. We're going to start with Roger Holder's 1967 Chevelle. Roger,
Yes.
what's going on with this one?
We are getting really close. We finally got our carbon fiber inner fenders in here so we can finish our air intake tube. We've been mounting the stuff that goes up in there with the AC hoses, those types of things. Swapped out to, I believe it was a Detroit Speed wiper motor. Just trying to get everything kind of in the car that we couldn't do without the wider inner fenders that have been designed in CAD. There's a lot of stuff that goes in here to handle this kind of horsepower with pumps, coolers, and air conditioning and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there than all the rest of the updates on the car. And let's go ahead and tell everyone about these inner fender wells because these are brand new on the website.
Yeah, these are brand new on the website. We just sold through the first run that we pre-ordered with them. They work for 66, 67, which those are different inner fenders. And so we made an adapter bracket to make them where I believe that they bolt right into a 67. And there's a little adapter bracket we have that bolts them into a 66. They will not fit 64 and 65. I'd be interested in making some for 64, 65 if we have a car, and I could probably sell 10 or 15 sets before we order them.
All right, so inner fender wells, these are carbon fiber, but let everyone know the significance of these. Actually, I just said that these are carbon fiber. Do we also have the fiberglass ones as well?
We also have fiberglass ones. Those are available. Currently, they're the same price as the 68 to 72 Chevelle inner fenders, which is $2,000 for the set of fiberglass. No, $2,400 because now we include free shipping. And so they're $2,400 for their fiberglass ones with free shipping, and they're $3,400 in carbon fiber.
Okay.
Free shipping.
So what's the significance? Because why, if you are building a car, what is the difference between a metal replacement factory to what you have here?
It's really just the ability to gain the space at the lower ride height with a wider tire.
And when you say space, where are we talking exactly?
So you're coming inward with it because it used to be that it was way inward here and came way up and tapered because it was meant to have this car at this much higher ride height than that and those types of things. And then it tapered down and didn't come straight down to the fender lip. And so this one allows you to get as much up travel as you can and not have to do what we've kind of figured out is about 40 hours of sheet metal work per fender to get everything that we've accomplished to clear the upper control arm mounts of the whether it's Roadster Shop or Speed Tech chassis, to clear all of those things to get everything to fit in the car.
So for someone that's building a car, whether it's a shop or a do-it-yourselfer, typically they would take the factories, they would slice them, add 2 inches or so to them, 3 inches or whatever, and
then
bring
create
them
a bulge here to
create a
do that,
bulge.
which takes sheet metal shaping. Plus, you're really doing the same thing on the outside of the car to move it so you have all this. You basically use the inner fender space so that this shape continues all the way across instead of it just kind of coming up and designed for a car that had a like an 8-inch taller ride height.
Yeah, so there's a reason behind them, not just because you're not just selling factory replacement carbon fiber or fiberglass inner fender wells. There's actually a reason behind it that cures a lot of time and effort and finding someone to actually do it as well otherwise.
It just allows you to take a stock bodied car. Like, we're not painting this car. It's got an older paint job that, as you can see, it's got some chips in it and stuff like that. And we're able to put this car together, achieve a lower ride height, which is what an aftermarket chassis does. And it allows us to accomplish all that stuff with a little bit more bolt-in parts.
This right now is on what's called ride sticks. So there's no shocks in place, but this is set up at actual ride height so they can determine clearancing and what have you for ride height. But soon enough, it'll have the shocks underneath it.
Because we set every car up at 50-50. So 50% compressed or 50% extended on the shock, however you'd like to look at it. And so that's the ideal position you want. So we determine our ride height, get everything laid out for where the shocks would be. We take what that ride height is according to the shock manufacturer that we're using, which is JRI on these. And so we set up the ride height with the ride sticks to get that optimum height. And then you're not dealing with, there's not enough weight in the car, there's not enough of those things. We've got everything set up ideally to know it's going to turn at ride height. We know if we take the ride stick out, we can shorten it and it'll put us where the shock would be at fully compressed.
Yeah, and maybe that might be another video that we need to make at some point, why you're replacing these chassis underneath these cars and achieving these ride heights. You're doing it for geometry reasons, so you're not deterring away from any type of suspension stroke being at this ride height.
Yeah, so when you take a stock chassis car and you put drop spindles on it and you shorten the spring and you do all that, all you're doing is changing the geometry, which in some cases is an improvement over stock and in some cases is not. So apparently they're making a lot of noise over there with the...
We'll get to that scenario in a second here. So what else on this car?
The other thing, we've got our steering wheel in here. So if you want to come around and check out the steering wheel and raw in here, these are the same steering wheels that we're using in the legacy cars. As you can see, there's we've moved the seats back. This is all Roger's pre-existing interior that he had before. These are the same shape as the legacy Chevelles with the new lighter weight wheel. We've gone to the 6-bolt Lacara adapter. It's got our horn button that's in here. So it sits in here with an O-ring. It's got the push button horn switch. You can put that part in there. We're selling them currently raw. There's some options on our website to have these chromed or polished. We're working out getting these, whether you want to have your upholstery guy wrap the steering wheel or whether you want to paint it or powder coat it or whatever you want to do. They're really intended to be sold as a raw unit. So
Okay.
we're offering some things if a guy's like, hey, I don't know where to get them chromed or doing that. We have some options to do that. And
So you can get it raw and personalize it on your own side of things, whether you're working with a shop or an upholstery guy, or you can get them turnkey at a certain point in different options, common options.
yeah, we've been Cerakoting these types of pieces to make them more durable. Some guys want them chrome. I prefer chrome so it doesn't get all scratched up. Like if it's polished aluminum, it'll eventually just wear and be dull from your fingers touching it. But maybe you want to Cerakote it silver. Maybe you want whatever you want to do with it, you can do with it. And it comes with the button. We have stickers that go in here that fill this. We have a few different options that we're offering on the horn button. This one says Ironworks because we sell the Ironworks ones with the cars that are built by Ironworks.
Okay, I'm seeing what we got going on the dash. What do we got going on?
So it's got a Dakota Digital gauge cluster. It's got the aftermarket switch panel that's meant to look stock. He's got the Gen 5 AC. Roger Holder does a lot of drag racing, and so he wanted to put something that was a little bit more drag race inspired in here. So we've been scanning. We scanned the trans tunnel, and we're taking a Legacy Series console and putting it in here and going to make a billet insert to go inside the car. But really, we're planning on keeping everything else. He's going to run the power windows for a little while. We're going to leave some provisions that if he decides he wants to put power windows in, we can come back and do that. It's just kind of it's a very simple car for us, but it's a chassis swap, LS upgraded, 1,200 horsepower monster, I guess.
Yeah, and we heard it start up in one of the previous shop walk rounds, and although it's some big horsepower, you don't hear it. So it's going to maybe be a little bit of a sleeper other than you've seen that
It
there's
might
something.
be that, but it can also be the tuning that just may not be
Yeah.
there with the initial bass tune. We'll see what happens when Tom gets done doing his magic to it, of getting that. I feel like this is going to be one of the first cars we will do a lot of street tuning with, but we are also going to have to run it on the dyno. Roger, who does a lot of drag racing, has already said he's got a connection to put it on a hub dyno just to make sure that, because it's going to run different if it hooks up than if it doesn't hook up. And on a hub dyno, it's going to hook up, so you could tune it for that, even though this thing will probably never really hook up.
Yeah, but
But it's not meant to.
The owner, Roger, not this Roger, but Roger Holder, is a drag racer. So he
Goes super fast.
He is ready for some horsepower, so he can handle it.
He can handle it.
All right.
There's a reason they call him the Wild Man.
Other than what's going on in the engine compartment inside the interior, have we really done anything else to the outside of the car underneath it?
Oh no, everything else is the same. The paint job that he put on it a while back, just forge line wheels, Willwood brakes, built the exhaust out the back. We put the fuel tank fill in the trunk. Did those types of things just to make it where it's kind of old guy approved.
Yeah, and when Roger's talking about the fuel, I don't know if this is open or not. Nope, it's not. It's all right. That's fine. We'll look at it. We got the Legacy Series car over there. We'll show them what that looks like. But guys with these lower cars don't want to be kneeling down at the license plate to fill up their car. So you are putting,
because this is where it would be.
Yeah.
And when the car is 12 inches lower, and the
Josh has the key.
Oh,
Go
Josh
ahead,
has the key. Here we go. So now you can just fill it up right here. Put your gas pump in here, fill it up. Everything's set to go.
All right, so now that we've shown that, and we'll just go ahead and just throw it out there. The battery is located there. It's got an on-off switch. It's got a battery tender all compact into one. So now that we've shown this and that, we'll see what the comments do, because
see what the comments do.
Everyone has an opinion about that. All right, what's our next vehicle?
So we got Darrell's Mercedes that is coming along very well. We've mocked up everything in here in the engine bay, which has kind of been in here for a little bit. We've been working on the interior, kind of getting everything kind of set in the car, finalizing some plumbing with brake lines and fuel lines, getting all that stuff routed. We have everything digitized and set up in underneath the dash with everything, so you can see how everything.
Let's open up the door.
You can see how everything's been designed in SolidWorks. The interior, we have a mock-up of what will be machined or printed or whatever it is, kind of set in there to get a visual look of what everything's going to look like. We have the start of the steering wheel center that we've been working on. It's a print of the overall steering wheel. It's not showing the multi-pieces, so the steering wheel's cranked up at this point. We have a carbon ring that we've been able to source, and then we've been able to machine these different parts. Some of them are very similar to our legacy steering wheels, but this is designed to go in here. This section will be removable and chromed and painted. Some of it will be painted black. Mercedes emblem with a clear that goes over that.
So in the previous videos, we've talked about how this car has been heavily utilizing 3D scanning and then redesigning on CAD and then producing all these 3D printed pieces so you can see what it looks like. So we're not going to be using any of the factory dash for the most part, it looks like.
Oh, there's none of the factory dash at all.
Yeah.
So everything's been designed around the stereo that we chose, the 10-speed shifter. We've been designing the boot and stuff like that. You could probably interject a bunch of renderings of different stuff that George has been working on this month of just getting everything into the interior and routed. We were putting cruise control in here and working on switches that would mount over here on the driver's side. We went from 3 switches to 5 switches because we didn't want to put the big ugly cruise control switch on the turn signal switch. Just trying to work around the limitations of the software that's out there to put different functions in it.
So just like everyone's seen previously, all that front top piecing was all 3D scanned and was laying there. We showed that previously, and then now it's all billet aluminum. This is design right here, seeing how it all looks, getting approval by Roger and the owner, making sure that everyone's happy with it.
Yes.
Before it goes into production.
Yeah, into final pieces, because there's stuff that we want to be wood grained. There's stuff that we want that'll be polished aluminum or chromed. There's just different things that it's just nice to see it in real time.
Yeah.
So we have the seats, frames mocked up in the car, a lot of those types of things just to see how it all fits together.
Nice. Nice. Anything else on this one?
I think that's it. We're getting really close to, we're going to hand sand the car to remove all the paint from the exterior because it's so straight and perfect. Mm-hmm. Just waiting on a few parts here to, just been working on drivability tuning with this, and so we're changing the master cylinder from some hokey thing to a Willwood master cylinder with a adjustable proportioning valve to change the brake feel in the car. The Nova's still, we are not even touching that, just gets moved around the shop.
Yeah, let's jump over to the corner over there real quick, and then we'll work our way back because we've got something new in the shop, like for a couple days.
For a couple days, we got Ventura up here with his dad's 70s Chevelle. We're gonna make a muscle car guy out of Vin, it seems. So his dad's been trying to tell him for a long time that this is the way to go.
All right, so looks like suspension, some brakes, new wheels for this round. Okay, so we'll let them keep on going, but that was all the noise in the background.
That'll be all over the internet at some point.
You can you can see Vin's channel and see what's going on with that once he releases that.
So we got Steve's blazers all together. We're waiting on this part from Billet because I thought I sent it to the machine shop and I didn't. And so it's a couple weeks behind, or we would have already had it and be driving the car. Truck runs, everything's together. Got an appointment for upholstery, getting all those things together. I just kind of dropped the ball on this. The badge is stamped that says it was built by Ironworks and all that stuff's ready to go. I just need this in aluminum and I believe it's shipped. So everything else
this is all really come together very, very nicely. Originally, this was all black, and now this is billet aluminum cover for the AC unit that used to be there. And man, super clean.
It is, turned out really nice. We've got the Tesla brake booster going. It's so effortless that we're not sure it's working. They assure us it's working if all the power's there and everything, but
until you drive it,
you really don't know what it's doing. But all the brakes are bled, everything's in it. Yeah, it's just ready to be put some miles on it.
The side moldings look phenomenal.
Side moldings look great. The rear molding is on its way because these trucks are different. We tried to cut a corner and design the trim for that side and just mirrored it to this side and found out that this side of the car is about 1/4 of an inch wider than this side of the car. So we had to machine that piece to be the same because they weren't the same. And so, but everything else has turned out great. I've had a ton of interest in people who want to do these. And if you're interested in trim, it's expensive, but if we get enough people together, it's probably not as ridiculous as it was to do one set.
Okay.
So these are all vinyl cut stickers that are in them, and it's just polished. And on the back side, there's double-sided tape that holds it all in place.
All right.
So,
and we haven't seen this one before.
Oh, we have, because we built it a while ago.
Not on the channel.
Not on the channel. This is all.
So what's the history?
This is back in the MySpace days.
MySpace. Okay. Tell us the
history. So this is Danny's simple patina car that we built. Oh, I think
in MySpace days.
Yeah, it might as well be 7 years ago, something like that. We built Danny a lot of cars. He brought this in to make it a patina car and then couldn't do it because it was just not what he wanted. So we wound up putting suspension under it. We mini tubbed it, which is really funny because we mini tubbed it for like a 255 tire because that's all you can fit even when it's mini tubbed because these cars are so small. So it's got a Roush 347 in it. And so Danny, after quite a few years, just didn't like the noise that the Ford 9-inch makes at speed and didn't like, which Ford 9-inches do. And so we decided to put a FN88, I think it is, from Detroit Speed in the car that bolts into a 9-inch housing. You have to change the axles, but it's supposed to be way quieter and just allow him to, at the RPMs that he's cruising down the highway at, allowed us to adjust the gear ratio. Like I think we went down 1 step in the gears and put the FN in there. And then we put a high-speed drive shaft in there that's balanced to a much higher RPM. So if you're doing a 100-mile-an-hour blast, it just makes it smoother. So that's why the drive shaft's on the front, because we had to shorten the drive shaft like 1/2 of an inch. But we went ahead and ordered one that was just, we've been using for a few years now, that just when you make like 120-mile-an-hour blast, when you let off or do something, they just feel a little better at higher speed. Most drive shafts are balanced till I believe it's 3,400 RPMs, and this is balanced to 6,000.
All right, let's go to Fab's department.
Fab shop. Can you feel the air conditioning? It's 100 degrees outside, and it's 80 in here.
It's awesome.
So remember that.
Okay, real quick on this one, because I don't want you to elaborate, because that's a whole nother subject and a whole nother video episode. Real quick, run around on this.
So number 6 car, everything's welded to it now except for the firewall. We've got to design the pedal assembly and get that raised up to put the Tesla booster in it that had to be moved up so that the master cylinder would clear the inner fenders. So we've got that located, everything's welded. Except for the firewall has not been welded into the car yet. The front drive system from Wagner's on its way. Everything else is kind of set up in the car. Hoping to go to the paint shop here pretty soon a little gapping and fitting. You can see the wheels and tires are on it. Amazingly enough, the backspace and everything, these wheels are actually for the number 4 car, and we wanted to test them on there today, and man, it looks pretty good. We had to do a little work on the fender lips as someone, I don't know, haggard them up.
Is this a 70 or a 71, 72?
Oh, that's a great question.
Drop a comment, let us know, because everyone
Is this not stock or that not stock?
leave it up to everyone to just assume or question it, I guess.
Or hate, whatever, either way.
So we just had another episode number 6 that was uploaded just recently. So if you're really interested in seeing more about this car, you can go back to episode 6 of the Legacy Series RS chassis just library of videos. But then we'll have another video here in a couple weeks that will go over more on this new current scenario with what the car is going on, with just everything that's been done to it. More details.
So it's coming along. So here we got the underside of Troy's hood. He wanted to smooth up all the understructure. And so we've been removing all the recesses, and these things are stamped together from like 3 or 4 different pieces, Adam? So he joined all the seams together, pocketed all this stuff in to make it look smooth, got rid of all the ugliness so that it's still strong, still holds its pieces, but it's separated from the upper hood structure and welded it all in. It's looking good.
How about the car?
So the car, we're got all the sheet metal back on it. Getting ready to put that on to finalize this stuff with the changing of the hood, just to make sure all that stuff's good. Welded all the inner fenders to one piece. Got the hood latch set up in the car. We just got the hood poppers that are supposed to go in here so we don't have to have the bumpers. And the hood poppers are supposed to be push up. I believe it's on this part of the hood. So when you close the hood, they'll go against the hood poppers, and then that'll pop it up so there doesn't have to be any other rubber shown. We got rid of the stock rib that's here in this inner piece, and filled a lot of this stuff in so when the hood's open, it just looks nicer. That's really it. So in the front. In the back, Stu's been hard at it on the rear spoiler. So the owner wanted to make a spoiler similar to another car that we did years ago. And so here was the inspiration for it, of this Camaro that we built for another guy that just never got finished. And so Stu has been hard at it on this.
You're fine, you're fine.
Roger's not coming, you'll be okay. Whoa, that's hot right there. That's hot right there. So you can see we grafted this. That's warm right there too. So we won't touch this because it seems to be hot, but we grafted this to be the same shape this way as the bumper because it's not flat, but it's minimal. And then it also has a curve this way. And then we grafted it in here to maintain this shape of this around here. That's hot. And it comes around this way. And then underneath, we didn't want it to look like it was way up. And so we spent a lot of time getting the side profile of everything together and getting it where it low profile, looks like it could have been, and I think old Stu nailed it. There we go. Good job.
Thank you, thanks.
So here we got Darrell's car. We've been working on just getting all the ugly seams and stuff like that out of the car, getting window track pieces kind of set up. Since we're not running the stainless molding that goes under here, we had to clean up all of this so that it's not this lap together 3 pieces of material. So we've got all that together. We've been welding up all the seams. Because it's a belly pan car, we had to run the fuel line as one piece through the entire car. So there's no way for it to leak inside the car. Then we made all the brake lines also go through the car that go on top of the threshold. We're finishing the tops of these doors where they're open before so that we can machine these triangles that will come in and seal against the rubber and do those pieces so there's no wind noise.
Point out the line down on the bottom. This side is what side line?
That side over there is the fuel line, and this line right here is the rear brake line.
Okay, and then...
And so those come through and tuck into the car, and they're made as one piece so they can't spring a leak inside the car. But because the car's belly panned and all the seating is even with the bottom of the rocker, you don't want to run it in the trans tunnel where the exhaust is.
Yeah.
So once we finish all the structure on the doors, we will powder coat these door structures and put the skins on, and then move our way forward to finalize all the fitment, to then finalize the fitment of the front hood.
A lot of work into this one.
Yeah, we've been working on it for a long time. So for a good customer named Darrell. You can see the starts of what the rendering is we're doing for our lower front valence. That's kind of where we were. This is where we are now, and we have one that we're working on now that's even better, that just kind of plays off that one on the bottom. Just because that lower fog light look is a little bit more dated than this car is. This car's getting a set of really, really nice Brixton forged wheels. There'll be a lot of neat carbon work on it, a lot of stuff like that that kind of sets it off.
Okay. So I think then we just went through all of them that are active right now.
It seems like we got all of them.
That's a lot of cars. So now that we've gone through everything, I know there's a lot of you guys that have been following along with these shop updates, seeing multiple different cars. What is your most favorite car that you are following along to see? What is it? The Nova? Is it the Cuda? The Crew Cab? The Blazer? You know, which vehicle is something that you like? Roger, out of all of them, which one do you really draw, like, you want to drive for yourself?
Ooh, to drive?
Yeah. Like, if you could have it for the weekend to go and take your family out, your wife and girls, which one would be a good one to take out for the weekend when it's done?
If I could only have it for the weekend and I could take the girls, it'd probably be the Blazer.
Yeah, that K5.
The Blazer would be pretty fun for the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'd probably like to take the top off, even though Mom wouldn't be too, she's kind of safety mom.
Yeah,
so
well, it's too hot around here for that.
It is too hot for that, but you could go early in the morning.
Yeah.
The Blazer would be pretty fun. That Mercedes, most everybody's pretty excited about. I never thought that we would make that thing look so good. Am I just losing it that I like it? I don't know.
Yeah, the Mercedes definitely has an appeal to it in a, how can you take a Euro and build it into a hot rod?
Well, a crew cab.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got four doors.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? The Kyle Wittenhouse guy, he'd probably be pretty proud. So, I don't know. They all have their different thing. I mean, I like the Chevelles with the new tricks and stuff that we're putting into the cars as we look. Nothing is ever good enough for me. And so I really like how those cars are progressing and getting better and better. And, you know, we just did some updates on Goldie and sent it back home to Greg, and made an exhaust change on the bottom of the car that I never would have thought made such a huge difference with these J-tubes underneath. I can give you a picture of those things that go underneath, and it changed the whole volume of the car and the RPM range that we use it. And I noticed that on the wide open rallies trip that from like 1700 to 2200, the decibel level got higher, but once it got above 2300, it quieted down. And so it's probably a drone issue that we were dealing with, and it's amazing how putting these J-tubes on the bottom changed that, because 2200 RPMs in 10th gear is like 90 miles an hour. And so you really hear that drone level in what was the usable RPM of the car. And so just doing that, and we've gone to some different power steering pumps that we had made with American products that really changed the feel of the steering. It made it a lot more powerful at the bottom, but then also made it where it's not twitchy at high speeds. And you know, but that's an $800 power steering pump that you put on there, but it really makes a difference in the car. And so just doing small things like that. We've been playing with alignment changes in the original Goldie car. I mean, that thing's pushing 6,000 miles. It just wore out a set of tires. They're not dry rot, they're not cracked, they're not old, they're just wore out.
Stu's getting at it over there. But that's a lot of great information that you're updating these cars, making them even better, paying attention to the stuff that you're not happy with, and just, again, making them better and better. Hopefully next month we'll get some more updates on the crew cab, because that one's a nice one.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to wire. We've got it all plumbed. We just need to get it wired, and then we'll send it off to the paint shop.
All right. Well, I think
Thank you very much.
I think we're good on this one. This is a nice
If
long
you're
one.
still here, thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, as always, if you guys want to get a hold of Roger, the best way to do it is go to the contact page on the website, fill that out, and that'll help get your information to Roger so then he can figure out what the next steps are to get on the phone with you or email you or whatever the case is. And if you have not already, go check out our social media pages, follow along on there on the daily stuff. But again, thanks for all the support on the YouTube side.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day.